Hello everybody and welcome back to the latest news on the Toon Review YouTube channel. My name's Paul. Thank you once again for tuning in. Now, I guess a lot of people will have woke up really down in the dumps this morning after what they saw yesterday. Some people will wake up with tremendous hangovers after completely trying to forget what we saw yesterday. But listen, we have to be realistic about this, guys, because whenever Newcastle United lose a game of football, there's an explosion of, people panicking and people saying things that are way over the top, etc. Now, don't get us wrong. I've sat in front of this camera many times after defeats and screamed and kicked off and blamed everybody. But look, not this time. That was after a consistent load of defeats where we just didn't seem to be learning from mistakes, etc., or the manager was terrible, whatever. Yesterday for me was just a bad day at the office. You know, Bournemouth came with a game plan. They put that game plan into practice perfectly and knocked us off our game. Now, as usual, there's been a lot of outpouring of emotions on social media, etc., and blaming certain players, blaming the manager, etc. But look, we won 9 out of 9 before yesterday. Right? Now, the main thing for me is that Eddie and the players get back on the training ground and they turn around and say, right, we didn't perform. There was a lot that went wrong. We'll look at the game. We'll see what we need to put right. We'll do that in training. But what's to say we can't go on another fantastic winning run? Just put this one behind us. Yes, we can talk about it, and we'll certainly talk about it more in the review at 7 o'clock tonight. We'll have a look at it, player ratings, etc., which aren't going to be good. We know they're not going to be good. But listen, that is based on that particular game. That's why it's called the match review, because it's reviewing that particular game, not the form that we were in before that game. Now, look, what's disappointing for me is Eddie Howe has had to come out and defend the one player, which I think we have no right at the moment to call out just because we didn't win the game yesterday, and that's Alexander Isak. You know, yes, Isak was bad. He was really bad yesterday, but so was everybody else alongside him. Jacob Murphy huffed and puffed, did nothing. Anthony Gordon, listen, that was probably the worst I've seen him play in a long time. He couldn't control the ball, he couldn't pass the ball, he gave a terrible pass away for Clivert's hat-trick goal. It was just not happening yesterday. And he sort of looked like he was struggling. He was frustrated. But so were a lot of Newcastle players yesterday. There's only one or two of them that come out with any sort of praise. And that was probably Toon Army, who covered every single blade of grass on that pitch, and Dubravka. Because if it wasn't for Dubravka, God knows what the score would have been yesterday. We were ranked bad. There's no denying that. And I'm not putting it down to fatigue either. I refuse to talk about fatigue again because we blamed fatigue so many times last season for so many defeats. But this time around, we had our strongest 11 out, right? And Bournemouth had so many injuries, but they had 3 games in a week as well. But they came up and gave it everything they had and destroyed us. So I'm not going to talk about fatigue. We may well have had a little bit of a tired legs. Absolutely, you have to. But so will Bournemouth. They're down to bare bones of their squad. But look at that performance they put in. You know, just sometimes you have to tip your hat, guys, and say, right, we weren't good enough. We were terrible on the day, but we will put it right next time. And Southampton is the perfect game for us to put that right and start another winning run. But for me, the fact that Eddie had to come out and sort of defend Alexander Isak, because he was asked, saying no, he didn't really play well. And Eddie said, no, he didn't. But I think he suffered as the team suffered from a lack of balls. I just think Bournemouth knocked our rhythm and all our normal way of playing was knocked out the park. I don't think any department survived. I don't think any individual survived in the sense of the levels that they had been playing at previously. I don't think we were there. Now, a lot of people will also come out and say, well, Eddie Howe, let's take a look at the manager because maybe he should have rested Joe Linton. Or why did he take Botman off at half-time when clearly it was Dan Burn that was struggling in the first half? But Botman's played a lot of football in a short space of time after being out for 9 months. And maybe Eddie maybe Botman was leggy or he was feeling something. I don't know. But that was for Eddie to decide. Now, the one I will agree with people about is the Willock substitution. I don't understand why Joe Willock gets ahead of Miley. Because Joe Willock right now is dross. He has done nothing for quite a while now. And every time he comes on the pitch, he just doesn't seem to be able to function. I don't know what it is with Joe Willock, because obviously he's capable of so much better, but we're not seeing it on the football field. And, Miley, for me, should have come on because he can transform a game. He does have that capability at such a young age. He's got the talent. But for some reason he went with Willock and it didn't come off. But look, we need to stop this serious overreaction on one game and start saying, oh, is Eddie capable? It's bollocks, man. Of course Eddie's capable. He's just won 9 games in a row. He's just won 2 games in North London in 3 days. Not many people go to Spurs and Arsenal and come away with wins, by the way. So, he's doing something right. But I'm not going to sit here and blame the manager when it's just one defeat, because that's not to say we can't go to Southampton next week and start another winning run and keep our league position. Yes, it was shit yesterday. We all know it was shit. But come on, guys, there's a time and a place. Maybe, if this was 6 or 7 defeats in a row, we'd have a right good go at them, and rightly so. But one defeat when we've just won the previous 9 games? I'm not having it. You may disagree with me, and that's fine. But if you do, put it in the comments below. Are you satisfied with Eddie Howe? Which players didn't perform yesterday, or do you think this is just a one-off, a bad day at the office, and we move on? One guy that did have a very good day at St James's Park yesterday, by the way, was Justin Kluivert, and he obviously. His father was a very, very good striker, Patrick, and played for Newcastle for a short period of time. Now, Patrick Kluivert I was a big fan of Patrick Kluivert before he actually came to Newcastle. So you can imagine my delight when he signed for the club. Now, I think he only scored 6 goals. He scored 5 away from home and only 1 at home against West Brom. Justin Kluivert was asked after the game and said that he actually followed Newcastle United all the way through growing up. He was a big fan of Newcastle. He loved the way the fans reacted to his dad's goals. He loved the way the fans were. He loved the football club generally as a fan. But yesterday, obviously, was very different for him scoring a hat-trick, but he went on to say how special it was to score a hat-trick at St James's Park in front of a full house, although it wasn't for Newcastle, it was for Bournemouth. But any big ground like that to score a hat-trick and help your team win is something very special. And look, whatever you think of Justin Kluivert, I said this yesterday during the commentary, he is one of those players that you would love to have in your team because he gets under the skin of the opposition, he's got a lot of talent, and he can score goals. So Justin Kluivert, for me, well played, mate. You got under our skin, you were ratty, you were in the face of the referee, but you also got a hat-trick. It was the perfect game for Justin Kluivert. Now, let's look at a couple of transfers, guys, because Newcastle United, despite the way things went yesterday, and listen, that might be a kick up the arse for PIF. To say, right, we were going to maybe look at the summer for bringing in players, but I think there's definitely an element of we need a little bit more quality available in the squad, maybe to come off the bench, try and change a game. That wasn't available to us yesterday. Now, the player that we're looking at heavily is Baris Yilmaz of Galatasaray, 24-year-old striker. He's got 11 goals in 28 games this season. He's 24-year-old. He knows where the back of the net is. This guy is a real talent, and we have been linked with him in the past. Yilmaz is somebody I think would really suit the Premier League. He really would. I think he'd do a great job for Newcastle. There's no transfer fee banded around in any of the reports, so I'm not sure what's happening with that. Nottingham Forest are the other team that are particularly interested in him. So that would be interesting if Forest and Newcastle, given their 2 league positions now, went head-to-head. But Newcastle, I think, could offer the better financial package and maybe long-term the better deal. But we'd have to wait and see on that one. But it's clear that we do need reinforcements. There's another player linked as well, Luis Henrique. He currently plays for Botafogo over in Brazil. He's also 24. He's a winger. Now, I don't think this one is going to happen, to be honest. I think there's too many other massive teams that will be in for him. It is expected he will make the move from Brazil to Europe in the winter transfer window, but it will probably to the likes of Real Madrid are interested. The big boys in Italy are interested. Germany. Newcastle United have stated an interest in the player, but it's only an interest. And I expect, or from what the reports are saying this morning, there is going to be moves for this player made by some of the big boys in the next few days. But we'll keep an eye on it. But it's one that's I can't see happening for Newcastle United. If we did get him, fabulous. He's an excellent player. He's a winger. We need a winger. We need somebody with a bit of talent. but we need that quality. You know, we need that quality to be able to come off the bench as well. You know, replace quality for quality, which we just don't bloody have right now. And that needs putting right. But it's something to keep an eye on. But there you go, guys. Let me know, as usual, in the comments below what I've brought up in the news show. I do read them all. I can't reply to them all, obviously, but I really do read them all. It's great to get your input on things. So please put down in the comments what you think. If you have enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you're new to the channel, we are rapidly heading towards 36,000 now. This channel is growing rapidly, and that's thanks to you guys out there to keep coming back and giving us your support. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live show as well. And we'll see you back all at 7 o'clock for the review and the player ratings. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, folks. Take care.